Today, we are going to talk about how to sleep better. And that's a subject that many people are interested in because it's very common to have problems falling asleep or staying asleep. Um, there are apparently like 70 million Americans that are having some kind of a sleep disorder. And I imagine the number keeps going up because of the many challenges that we have had this last year and also this year a bit. So, first of all, I would like to talk with you about um, the wisdom of the body and the importance to listen to the body. And then we are going to see some specific practices from yoga and from Qigong to sleep better. There is a lot of research coming from neuroscience that calls attention to the fact that we not only have perception through the five senses, which is perception of the external world or exteroception, but we also have perception of our internal world, and that's called interoception. And the brain registers that even if our conscious mind sometimes doesn't pay attention to that. But the brain, in fact, gives priority to that instead of the conscious rationalizing that we do or whatever. And then it sends signals to the body. Um, So there is a very interesting experiment that was done in the University of Iowa with Antonio Damasio, which is one of the big experts on the functioning of the brain. And he and other scientists designed an experiment that put the participants, they had to choose among four packs of cards, four groups of cards, and try to decide with which one of those groups they will win most. So in some packs of cards, they would get, for example, a $20 penalty, and then they took a card from another pack and they got $1,000 prize. And then they took another card from that same pack and they got a $2,000 lost. And so they had to keep trying. The four cards were different in the rewards and losses that would bring. And the participants kept drawing cards until they finally could more or less figure out which was the one that was the best. Maybe there was smaller increments, but they were not so big penalties. And so in the long run, it was better. And it took them more or less about average for the group, 80 cards, to draw 80 cards before they could realize which one was the best pack from which they would get the most rewards. And Damasio and the other scientists, at the same time that the participants were doing this, they had they had them wire a little bit to notice what kind of reactions they were having in their bodies. And it was very clear that when they were approaching the group of cards that had more penalties, their body kind of tense up a bit, kind of hunch. There was a little bit more sweat, so there was a little bit of anxiety there. And this was happening much before they really knew which one was the best pack. So apparently their bodies figure out which pack was the best by drawing card number 10. And it took most of the participants to keep drawing because they were not listening to what the body was saying. It took them much longer to finally define, through the brain, through the mind, what was the best pack. All this is a long way to say that the scientists concluded that the body itself knows much sooner than the mind. What feels good or not, what feels what is that would be the best way of action. And you may say, well, I don't know, I want to know more about that. So just look up the Antonio Damasio Iowa experiment. He also talks about this in his book, Descartes Mistake, which El Error de Descartes, in which he talks about the mistake of thinking that the mind and the body are separate, and that really we need to understand that they are a continuum. And he called those ways of reacting that the body has when it knows that something is not going so well, or it is going well. He called them somatic markers. Now, that's about those cards. But I mean, we know in our own personal experience, daily experience, that the body often tells us things and that we don't pay attention to it. So it's very important to start developing this capacity to listen to your body and to know that the body usually doesn't scream. I mean, at some points it does scream. It gets into a panic attack or into a raging disease or whatever. But in general, it gives murmurs. You know, it just tells you, I'm tired, let's go to sleep. And often, I know it happens in academia a lot, and it has happened sometimes to me, or for whatever other reasons, we say, no, my list for today was that I would accomplish all this before I go to sleep. And so we don't pay attention to, for example, the soft voice of the body saying, let's take a nap or let's go to sleep. And then we get a second wind. And then when we finally are ready to, we have finished our things and now we are ready to sleep and we want to sleep immediately. No, sorry, you put me in a second wind and now I want to keep going. So the first recommendation to sleep better is we need to trust our body and we need to listen to our body and really follow whatever is telling us that it needs. And so I want to write for you to write down in your notes and maybe afterwards put this thing in your refrigerator or somewhere, the word interoception. Interoception. Interoception is the awareness of the states, the inner states of the body. For example, if you are thirsty, the body will start giving you little signs that say, hey, something is happening within us. We need to drink some water. But often, we are busy with something else and we just don't do it. And so it's very important to start listening to our body and to follow what the body is asking for. And also the body often gives, and when I'm talking about the body, I'm talking about sensations of what's going on inside us, to try to several times a day, stop, take a few deep breaths and sense, how am I doing right now? What does my body seems to need? My body means body, mind, right? What's going on with me right now? How am I feeling? Am I getting worked up? Am I getting angry? Often the body starts with these murmurs and it goes slow. So before it gets to the point of screaming, or before we get to the point of being totally overtaken by our emotions, which of course afterwards when we go to sleep is also going to interfere with the sleep, the body starts giving us some sensation of unease, or this is I'm being triggered here, and so it's so important to develop this sense of interoception, of realizing something is happening here. Let me see what's the most skillful way of responding now, whether it is have a drink of water or take a nap or leave the room if you're about to, start shouting, take a few deep breaths, whatever. So if we work like that during the day with our interoception, our sense of what's going on during the day, we won't come to the night all wired up and then demanding that we need to fall asleep immediately or in an hour or in 2 hours. I mean, we would have been working with our body and mind during the day to experience a sense of a little bit more relaxation and perhaps more inner peace and easiness, and that can help. Um, and you may say, well, all that's very well, but I'm a student in Berkeley and I have a professor who gives a lot of work and several other ones that give a lot of work. So, what do you want me to do about this? And I would say, still stop several times a day and take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, what is more important? And maybe even if you have 5 minutes, go for a walk around the block, or if you have plants, touch your plants so that they give you a little bit of peace. Or if you have a pet, you know, caress your pet, something. Just bring some breaks in between so that the thing doesn't keep accumulating and then interferes with your sleep at night. So that's my first part of the presentation today, is about interoception. Some general concepts about sleeping. I think most of you know it. Don't eat late, eat something light, perhaps at 5, 6, whatever, so that you are not doing the digestion when you are going to sleep, because sometimes one eats late and then finish the digestion and one wakes up. Try to have your room to be dark, because that helps your diencephalos, which is the part of your brain that works with the sense of light and darkness. And that's a major clock that's within your body that also affects the other clocks in the other organs. And it has to do with the circadian rhythms. Circadian means around the day, circadian dia, day. In general, it's better if you kind of, when the sun comes down, you start, shutting off your computer. Don't keep working until the last moment. Do some relaxing thing, reading a book, listen to music, do your breathings, your Qigong, relaxing things, and then go to sleep. So, darkness, not many bothering sounds, not having eaten too late. The heat or cold also has influence. To me, when I have one extra, even a shawl or anything on top of my bed, if that's too warm, I sense it once I'm in the bed for 5 minutes. I don't need this, take it out, and then suddenly I feel so much better. I sleep better. So notice what's your temperature gauge, and what is for you cool enough that you can relax into sleep, and light enough that you can relax into sleep without going into a state of too cold and then start shivering, right? So, but in general, it's better to go towards cooler than warmer. What else? About things, supplements that we can take. But magnesium is very good for supporting sleep. You have to find the right amount for you, and it's a little bit different for every person. If you take too much, you will know it, because it will give you diarrhea. So, but you can take, some amount, and it will help to sleep. Potassium and magnesium are very good for your metabolism. Less salt, less sugar, more greens. We all know these things. Um, Try to replace your desire for sweets for having a fruit or something, that gives you a little bit of taste, and doesn't produce so much glucose, because then the glucose, it's been worked in the liver, and if it is not used for activity, it goes to your tummy area, or it goes to tension in your muscles, because glucose is what the body takes when you are fearful, and it takes the key that it's in a dangerous situation, even if it is not, but you are experiencing it like, oh, this might be dangerous, this is upsetting, this is challenging, whatever. Then you get the body responding to what you are inputting, and that creates tension in the muscles, so that you are ready to run. For that is so important what we put in the body. And for that, another very good practice during the day to arrive well to the night is to smile. Because if you smile, yes, that's great. I love to see you smiling. If you smile straight, just smile, immediately your body goes into some state of relaxation because it says, oh, we are safe. And this is nice. This is funny, is endearing, is whatever, so you just feel better, right? So smiling is a great thing. Smiling while taking the sunlight is fabulous because it helps also your circadian rhythms. So every day 10 minutes of sunlight, sitting in the sunlight, taking in, absorbing the light through your face and smiling for that pleasure of that warmth in your face. Um, and then sensing that your brain is absorbing all that warmth, and again, being thankful and smiling and allowing that to per, uh, bathe all your internal body, starting through the spine and all the nerve system, all the nerves that um, radiate from your spine. And that, of course, informs your lungs and your heart and your very important organs, your stomach, your spleen, your liver, gallbladder, and the kidneys, and also the viscera down in the abdomen. So if you can take in that sunlight and smile and feel a sense of gratitude, like not entitlement, but gratitude, um, that will also be very good for cultivating a sense of relaxation during the day so that at night you sleep better. And it also will help monitor your circadian rhythms because your body will know, okay, we went through this cycle of light, and eventually when it comes at night, it will get more easily into the cycle of darkness. If you, for whatever reason, are all day away from the sun, then it's not so good for your body because it gets confused. It cannot have the clear clues of how to work with the circadian. All right. So now some specific techniques that we can do. One technique to relax the body that you can do before you go to sleep, or again several times during the day, and we have done some other times too, is get away from the energy in your head or your thoughts, your plans, your reactions, your judging of the past, of the future, all that. Let's get that down, and we can get it down through several ways. One way is come in touch with your body. Your body loves when it's touched by you. So you can, for example, massage your body. This is something very good to do. Let's do it together right now. Right now, we are massaging the spleen and the stomach on the left side, and the liver and the gallbladder in the right side. The spleen is an organ that gets very much affected by wearing. So, as we massage the spleen, and liver is one that has to do with anger, as we massage the spleen and anger, we are inviting our body to relax, to let go of those obsessive thinking, of that obsessive thinking. And also, if there are any issues that make us angry, whatever, we are inviting that to be dropped right now, and just smiling to our spleen and stomach, and to our liver and gallbladder, and imagining that they smile back to us. You can do this before you go to sleep as you sit in bed, and also several times a day. And this is a way to let go of accumulating tensions and contractions that can easily happen as a blind response to what the challenges that life presents to us. Okay, so those there. And we are going also to bring these healing hands that we all have. The center of our palms is recognized in many traditions as healing, and we can always at least direct it to ourselves. Um, and so, again, if you put your hand here, your palm in this area here where your heart and your lungs are, there are studies that show that then you generate oxytocin, which is a chemical that your body releases that helps to relax. And also within Qigong, we know that there is a point there, right there, called Sea of Tranquility point. And in yoga, classical yoga, we know that there is a vortex of energy there called anahata, or the heart chakra, the heart vortex. So we bring our hands there, feel the how soft it feels when you bring your hands to your own heart and lungs, reconnecting with your deeper self, and having a few breaths, inhaling like sighing, exhaling, letting go, and having a smile. See how it changes when you have a smile. Yeah. Smiling to your lungs and heart. Maybe you can visualize them. And imagine that they smile back to you. Hey, she remembered, he remembered. A sense of softening, of spaciousness, of interoception. How are you feeling? How are you feeling your organs? How are you feeling them smiling back to you? And this is not imagination. I mean, it's just really being able to bring your attention in, softening and breathing, and feeling how that feels in your chest. Maybe even feeling the warmth that comes from your hands into the area of the Sea of Tranquility point. Very simple, very effective. Inhaling like sighing, exhaling, letting go of the all, letting go of worries, upset, memories, or whatever. And as we inhale, inviting what we want to see grow in our lives. And if it is you are going to sleep, you are letting go of whatever might be happening during the day, whether you can see it or not, just let go of whatever congestion could be there, or anxiety, or hyperactivity. And then as you inhale, inhale peace, relaxation, coolness, whatever speaks to you as a way of relaxing. Exhaling through the mouth, letting go of the burdens of the day. Inhaling through the nose, what nourishes you. And if nothing else, the gratefulness of having been alive one more day, of still being alive, of being able to breathe. Maybe you can even see what's around you. Maybe there is an object that you find endearing. Right now, I'm seeing these beautiful plants that are here, flowers of different colors, and just smiling inside and also appreciating what you have outside. Because often we just, like Rick Hanson says, Rick Hanson is a Buddhist teacher and really wonderful expert on neuroscience. we usually are like Teflon for the good things and like Velcro for the negative things. So at the end of the day, there is consciously or unconsciously this holding to whatever was still a problem or an annoyance or whatever, instead of going to the happy things. So we need to make an extra effort or an extra training of our attention and intention to come back to the happy things and smile. Smile inwardly, smile to our life, smile to the things around us, and maybe to the people around us, or to our pets, or to our plants, just touch the plant. Okay, so that was one, massaging, and also massaging the kidneys. So those are the five vital organs that the Chinese have identified: the lungs, the heart, the liver, the spleen, and the kidneys. And the kidneys are super important because that's where we store our energy, emotional energy, physical energy, sexual energy, and they are affected by fear. So often fear and worry deplete us, or sometimes we get problems in the kidneys. So to help the kidneys, we can massage with the hands like this, or with the hands open like this, whatever is more comfortable for you. And smile to the kidneys. Try to visualize the form of the kidneys. Where are they? Letting go of any stagnation there. I mean, fears come in so many different forms. So it could be fear about your own health or the health of somebody else, or financial things, or ecological or political. I mean, you name it. There is all kinds of different things. So remember, massage your body as a way of relaxing it during the day and also before you go to sleep. Another way is to breathe, the abdominal breathing, and we do that by bringing our hands to our abdomen. Find your navel, that's what my navel is, and then three-finger breath from the navel. There is another point called sea of energy, and the area of the navel has to do with our presence in the world. So sometimes we accumulate tensions there in our ways of relating to ourselves, sometimes judging, or with expectations that sometimes we cannot fulfill, or all kinds of different things, the way we speak to ourselves and relate to ourselves, which sometimes seems to be okay, but there are sometimes other tensions that pop up there. So uh, to let go of those tensions, and also to lower the energy from the head to the abdomen, so more an embodiment, a rootedness, we are going to bring our hands, again, the center of the palm, just a little bit under the navel. So the navel will be there, my hand will be like there, and the center of the palm will go to that sea of energy point. And then the other hand on top of the first one. And that's good because once it goes there, again, we have this sensation of reconnection with our body. And also we have a sensation of our abdomen. And we are going to need that sensation because when we exhale, we want to bring the abdomen in, and we feel how the hands are going in a little bit as the abdomen goes towards the spine. We are exhaling. And then when we inhale, we are sending the air down there, and we are relaxing the abdomen, allowing the abdomen to kind of bulge forward. So we are using a little bit the muscles of our abdomen for now, just to locate that movement. Again, exhaling, bringing the abdomen in towards the back, and then relaxing the abdomen and also bulging it a little bit as we inhale, and allow that air to come all the way down here. Let's do two more. Exhaling, bringing the abdomen in. Inhaling, allowing the abdomen to come forward. And there is a slight pause at the end of the inhalation and a slight pause at the end of the exhalation. Okay, so now we're going to do the abdominal breath, still with attention here, but without using so much the muscles. So we are going to go one level more subtle, but we are still having that basic movement that now we know how it is. Okay, so we have the spine straight, body relaxed. We start by exhaling, bringing the abdomen in, just barely using the muscles, not too much. And there is a pause after the exhalation, and then when the inhalation comes, we allow the air to come all the way down. If for whatever reason you're so accustomed to breathe up here that you cannot feel how it comes there, you could do inhaling, bringing the elbows out, which is already going to make the air come at least here, and then exhaling, bringing the elbows in, and inhaling, bringing the elbows out, exhaling, bringing the elbows in. So that's just to start bringing your breath out one last time. And then bringing the elbows in, exhale. So if you cannot get to the abdomen, keep using the elbows. If you can get to the abdomen, then just have one hand on top of the other at the level of the abdomen. My navel is here, the hand is just immediately under it, both hands. And we are going to exhale, bring the abdomen in. Inhale, let the air come down to abdomen. And this time we are inviting a sense of rootedness. So imagine that you are like a mountain sitting there and that you're having this sense of the stillness of the mountain. And also you have like roots going from your sitting bones and your sitting muscles into wherever you're sitting. So you have this sense of steadiness and of rootedness. And at the same time, every time you inhale, imagine that you extend a little bit up. So you are like a tree, now that we are in the spring, you are like a tree that is bringing the um, growing up and is also being rooted in the earth. So we have a sense of stillness and also of being straight, and the body is relaxed, the shoulders are hanging like grapes. And we do a few more abdominal breath. If for whatever reason you are joining to us and you are have to be laying in a position horizontal, same thing. And also for all of you tonight, um, you're here. You have right. You're here. You have your hands at your abdomen, and you're starting by letting go of the air. You will notice that your hands go down a little bit, and then you slowly inhale and have the intention that the air goes to abdomen, and you notice that your hands go slightly up. And so you keep just exhaling. Every time you exhale, you accept the support of the bed. And every time you inhale, you also relax. And just notice that mesmerizing movement of the breath that comes in and out of your body, and that makes your abdomen go up a little bit when you inhale, and it comes down a little bit when you exhale. And there is a slight pause after the inhalation and a slight pause after the exhalation. And you can do this as long as you like until you fall asleep. So, that's a possibility. It's a very nice practice also, the abdominal breath. Uh, Sometimes when we are meditating or before we meditate, just to calm ourselves. And And also, anytime during the day when you want to calm yourself, just take a seat somewhere, take a moment for yourself, and do a little bit of abdominal breath. And you see that all that energy that was in the head, it comes down. And then you are not so preoccupied. And when you're not so preoccupied, other things start springing up. You have new ideas about the relationship, about the work, about the creativity, anything. You just have new space inside you when you do this. So the abdominal breath is very, very good as a practice to fall asleep and also to relax if you wake up in the middle of the night. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, the natural tendency is to go, oh no, here we go again. This has been happening to me for years. And I guess I'm condemned to this. And, just there's no way out. I'll have to, you know, turn and tussle and whatever. Um, or worst, think, oh no, tomorrow I have to work and I cannot be awake. I need to go to sleep. Well, of course, either way of thinking is not going to help you to fall back asleep. So you say, well, what do I do? Do I count sheep? And I would say, no, don't count sheep, count blessings. So you wake up, you go, oh, okay, I'm awake. And it's the middle of the night. But how wonderful. I mean, some people die in their beds and they never wake up. So that's a sign I'm alive. I woke up and I can breathe and I have a bed and I have a roof. Okay, well that can make it maybe for half a second, but then you go, oh, and I need to sleep because tomorrow I have to work. Then you go, okay, let me see what else I can do. Let me count blessings. And so you start thinking of other blessings in your life, or even better, that's what I hear from different people with whom I have shared this. If you start sending blessings to somebody else, so you start remembering the people you love and you send them a sense of love, your love, your feeling of love. Send it to them and imagine that wherever they are, they suddenly have this sense of greater peace or being loved. If they are also sleeping, maybe they have a nice dream, whatever. You just put it in the earth. And because you are connecting with this sense of love within you and for other people, and you are imagining them also in this process of receiving love, it softens yourself, and it helps you. And if you have a very long list, just keep thinking who else and keep sending that. Eventually, you fall asleep. So that's another possibility. The abdominal breath, counting blessings, um, and then also sending love. And about counting blessings, of course, is a very good practice to develop the muscle of gratitude, because we often just take things for granted. And a natural way is to go to the problems, how to solve the problems. Also, because sometimes they irritate us, and so how to deal with that. But if instead of that, we realize, I don't want to drink that poison. This that I'm doing is poisoning me, and it's not changing the situation. So let me see if I can drop it, and if I can cultivate what I would like to see really growing in myself, what I want to experience today, and find something positive so that you can bring your mind to that, to the people that you love. Or maybe you can bring it also to somebody who loves you, maybe your grandmother or your pet or something. And if you are having problems, if you are waking up because you are in a challenging time of your life, just kind of remember that that's part of a bigger journey, and that you need maybe some help in this particular moment. Ask for the help in the person that you love, that your grandmother, or perhaps any image. If it could be the Buddha, Jesus Christ, Mary, whoever for you takes you to a space of trust. And if you can just kind of put in their lap whatever is beyond your control, and then open yourself to feel protected and loved, and that you will come through the situation. And you can even ask for help, whatever way, to God, to Buddha, to Mother Mary, to whoever. Show me the way, show me the way. And then that will relax within yourself your own Buddha nature, your own intuitions, and you'll start having these insights of what to do so that you can find some skillful response to the situation. Okay, all very good, but give me some other more concrete ways. Okay, so if you do yoga, you probably know Ujjayi, which is this breathing that is one of the few breathings that can be done also laying down. And Ujjayi means victorious. Victorious over what? Over being upset or feeling isolated, separated, totally identify with the little self instead of the bigger self that is within you. So Ujjayi is a breath that's done with taking the air almost from the glottis. So one way of finding this part of our body is by first starting like, so if you do, you will feel that here, right? And then you could start by, this is not yet Ujjayi, but it's preparation for it. You could start by having a sigh, taking the air with the open mouth and exhale it through the open mouth, and you will notice the movement here. So you do yeah, some of you are yawning. That's fabulous. That means your vagus nerve is being stimulated and you are very near the relaxation response. I'm so happy for you. Okay, so you feel the movement here, right? So now you're going to close the mouth and imagine that you are absorbing the air through here. And it sounds almost like dark Veda in the wars, what you call it, something galaxy wars or something. Or when you are snoring or pretending to be snoring, somebody enters in the room and you want to fake that you're sleeping and you start snoring this way. I don't know if you can hear me really. It's like a murmur. So very relaxed, so you don't have a sense of constricting this part, but you're getting the air there. And smile. So in the beginning, if you never have done it before, it may be a little bit strange. Try to relax as much as you can this area here. And every time you exhale, like you do the, also invite your body to relax, your shoulders to relax, your posture to relax. It's super relaxing, really. I mean, if you can practice it and you get it, it's very, very relaxing. And I do it when I go to sleep. I have several practices. This is one of practicing Ujjayi, and it relaxes me so much that I very quickly fall asleep. Some other thing that can also help you to fall asleep, and with this we'll finish for now, is these 5 points that we have here in the back There is a wind mansion here. I'll send you the video with these points, but there is one. If you come up the spine, right where the line of the skull is, there you interlace your fingers like this, and you use your thumbs to go to this point here, and then you are inhaling and exhaling and relaxing. So this is the first point. Then there are two other points here along the line of the skull, same position of the hands. And there are two other points along the ropey muscles of the neck here. And we use this part of our palm and this part to squeeze there. And turn the head to one side and to the other side. So now that you more or less know where the 5 points are, the first one along the spine as it hits the line of the skull, that's the first one. It's called wind mansion. You come to the end of the day and allow all the thoughts and emotions and all that to, like the wind of your mind, to come inside the mansion and go to sleep, right? So they have come a point to rest. And you use your thumbs and your hands to cradle, the thumbs to touch that point, and the rest of the interlock fingers to cradle your head as you inhale and exhale and let go of whatever has been the burden of the day. You keep inhaling slowly, deeply, like sighing, and exhaling, going. So if you were laying down, you have your hands interlaced like that, and there, accepting the support of the bed and letting your head rest on your pillow. You do these breathings and this intention of, as you have the fingers in wind mansion, letting go of every thing, of all the thoughts and different stimulus that you had during the day, allowing the body to relax and to feel stillness. So that's the first one. Then you go along the edge of the skull and you find the other 2 points, gates of consciousness, same thing. Interlacing the fingers so that you can cradle your head using the thumbs in the 2 points of gates of consciousness. Ah, Inhaling, exhaling, letting go of tensions. These points are amazing at overcoming frustration, irritability, being overwhelmed, being exhausted. So just any time during the day, bring the thumbs there and combine it with inhaling like sighing, exhaling, letting go, another little smile, because that helps to soften inside. Yes, great. I can see people smiling. That's great. Doesn't it feel immediately different when you smile? Just everything softens up. Yeah. Okay. So first wind mansion, then along the skull to the 2 points of gates of consciousness, and then along the ropey muscles of the neck to these other 2 points that are kind of half the way between the line of the skull and the line of the shoulder. So right there. And we're using this part and this, and we are pressing and relaxing. So you press and then you loosen up a little bit the pressure, and again, inhaling, pressing in, exhaling, letting go, or you can just keep the touch there and inhale and exhale without moving much. And again, if you are laying down, you're having your hand there, right? And inhaling, exhaling, allowing your body to relax. Don't cross your feet. When you go to sleep, don't cross your feet, because that creates again kind of a shorter circuit of realimentation. When you're going to sleep, you want your feet to be separated, not touching, and your hands, if at all possible, after you do this, just by the side of your body, not on top of your chest. I mean, for a little moment while you do the abdominal breath, yes, but eventually letting them to be by the side. So when you're doing this one, you can also rotate your head to one side slowly and then very slowly to the center. Change hands, rotate it to the other side and slowly to the center. Just breathing and with the intention of letting go. Sometimes you start with the wind motion, then you go to the gates of consciousness and you just fall asleep until the next thing you know is the next morning. So sometimes you have time for the five of them and do also the pillars of heaven. And again, a little bit of maintenance during the day, that interoception. Am I getting exhausted? Am I getting irritable? Let me use these 5 points and then use the 5 points before you go to sleep. And I love to use them also when I wake up. It's my way of transitioning between having been asleep and coming into the day because it's a good way of just kind of relaxing and letting go of any extra tensions that sometimes we develop during the night. During the night, we are doing a lot of processing of uh, issues, and so it's good in the morning just to have a little refresher of this using these 5 points. So I hope that some of these practices will be useful for you. I know I cover quite a bit of tools, but maybe some of them you will remember, like sending love in the middle of the night, like counting blessings instead of counting sheep, like interoception, paying attention to your body during the day, just knowing what it might need. Yes. And I'll try to edit this soon and send you. It would make me very happy to reach as many people as possible. These are simple things that anyone can use. Yeah. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. Bye.
Thank you. Can't wait to use them tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Uh,
Yes. And tomorrow. Yes.